Hey YouTube, today we're going to make sure my monitoring is on point. So a huge shout out to Sonarworks for asking me if I want better mixes, better monitoring. Of course, my answer is yes. They send me this microphone over here to help calibrate my studio to make sure that I remove any unwanted coloration from my studio that my speakers or my room is adding to the mix. A lot of times you want a nice, clean, flat response, and this will definitely help me achieve better mixes and better mixes that will help translate to various audio sources, headphones, speakers, the speakers in your car, whatever it may be. So this microphone works alongside Sonarworks Reference 4 to help acoustically treat my current studio setup. It will remove any unwanted coloration from the studio by doing its own calculations and then outputting a nice flat frequency response. So let's go ahead and get the process started. So you're probably asking yourself, why do I even need this? And the answer to that is simple. Everything that you listen to music on, whether it be your headphones, your monitors, your speakers, it adds a certain amount of coloration to your sound. And the problem with that is every time you sit down to mix, you're mixing into that coloration. Now, over the years, I've learned to work alongside with what I have, learned what it does, and then I kind of go back and go against that in my mixes. What we're gonna do right now is gonna help me achieve that sonic clarity that I need to help translate my mixes to various audio sources. So right here, I just want to give you an example on how the microphone works with Reference 4. What it does right here, as you can hear in the background, it sends out these sounds to the microphone, so it listens it in, and then it calculates how all the sound is bouncing off the walls in my room and figuring out the problem areas that we may have. So this part of the process was actually pretty fun. It was like a game. It was telling you where you need to place your microphone, try and get it in that blue circle. And I'm actually moving this in real time to try and match where it wants me to go. And it's actually fairly accurate to where the actual placement in real life was in accordance to what you're seeing in this app over here. All right, so now that it's done, we're gonna go ahead and make sure we save this calibration after all we just did. And then we're gonna import it into Logic and make sure that we're gonna be using this frequency response when we're monitoring our mixes. All right, so right here, we are in the Logic session of Lil Uzi Vert's The Way Life Goes. And on the master track, the last plugin in the chain is gonna be set to Sonarworks Reference 4. And that's how we're gonna make sure that everything we've just tested and set is going to be played using those specs. So right here, you can see my calibration profile was set to first take, which is the one we just set up. And now I know when I go and mix my track, I know that I'm getting a completely flat response. All right, so right now we're gonna go ahead and A/B this plugin to show you what kind of difference that it makes. You're gonna hear a difference on your speakers, but just keep in mind that this was tuned to the speakers that I have in the studio over here. So here it is with the plugin enabled. Bypassed. As you can see from that demo over there, my speakers tend to be a little bit more muddy, whereas Reference 4 corrected that and made sure that we have a nice clean response. Now the problem that arises with that, if I were to mix on my speakers the way it is right now, I would always be cutting a little bit too much of those mid frequencies out of my mix because my speakers colored my room to be a little bit more muddy, and that's where the problem arises, and that's why you need correction tools like this to make sure that your room is acoustically treated via software like this or actual physical acoustic treatment in your studio. And of course, the same thing goes for your headphones. So if you are mixing with headphones, we're just going to click on headphones. Right here, I use the Audio-Technica ATH M50s, so I'm going to make sure that mine is set to that. There are a boatload of other presets you guys can use for the headphones that you guys use, but the ones that I use in my studio is the M50s. So if I go ahead and play this out, going to know if I'm monitoring or mixing on my headphones. I'm going to get a nice, clean, flat response. This way I'll be able to make the adjustments that I need and know that and feel protected and feel right that it's going to sound good on every single listening device. So that is how I just tuned my studio to make sure that I'm editing, mixing, and listening at the right levels, nothing colored in any which way or any which direction. If you have any question on this, you can ask me in the comments below. If you want to check out Sonarworks Reference 4 for yourself, I'll place a link in the description box below this video. And for more great videos like this and tips, remember to hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Later, guys. Peace.